Hello guys, today we are going to see regarding the phylum cnidaria, right? So or we otherwise call it as coelenterata. So there is a reason why we call it as coelenterata and why we call it as cnidaria. Coelentron is because it has only one gastrovascular cavity, because it has only one opening. So this is the only mouth and this is itself the anus. That's why we call it as coelenterata, because the presence of coelenteron, which is we otherwise call it as the gastrovascular cavity. And why we call it as cnidaria is because it consists of cnidoblast, or we otherwise call it as cnidocytes on the tentacles. And coming to the parts of this, so you can able to see this is the nucleus, and we call this as lasso. This is the supporting fibrils. And we have the shaft and operculum. This is cnidocyle. And we have the spines for the shaft, and this is the thread tube. These are the parts of the cnidoblast, or you can also call it as cnidocyte. Coming to this topic, these are only aquatic. These are exclusively aquatic. You can't find any terrestrial thing. This is for sure. And they are mostly marine. But there are some few freshwater also, but they are mostly marine. And sessile. They are sessile. If you see sea anemone or hydra, obelia, they are the sessile organisms, are free swimming. Coming to the adamsia, aurelia. Aurelia is none other than the jellyfish. Jellyfish is the free swimming. Hydra, obelia are the sessile organisms. These are the radial symmetry. You can able to cut the organism into any plane passing through. Because of this circular orientation, all the directions will have a equal distribution of water. So that's why each and every part will be receiving the nutrition, and from each and every part the excretion also will be possible. This name cnidaria is actually derived from cnidoblast or cnidocytes. These contain the stinging capsules, or you can also call it as nematocyst. So these are present on the tentacles of the body. So cnidoblasts are used for anchorage and defense and for capturing the prey also. Cnidarians will exhibit tissue level of organization, and these are diploblastic, having only two germ layers, ectoderm as well as endoderm. Middle we have mesoglia, but it is cellular in nature. We have a central gastrovascular cavity. Because of that we call it as coelenterata. The central gastrovascular cavity is none other than coelentron, which has a only single opening, mouth. That itself will act as a mouth, and that itself will act as an anus. We call that mouth is present on the hypostome. So digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. But when you see porifera, you have only intracellular digestion. And some of the cnidarians like corals are also will comes under cnidarians. They have skeleton composed of calcium carbonate, but the sponges composed of spicules or spongin fibers. Cnidarians will exhibit two basic body forms. One is polyp and other one is medusa. If you can see here, this is the medusa form, umbrella form, and this is the polyp form. So umbrella form you will be seeing for the jellyfish, and this polyp form you will be seeing for sea anemone. So the former will be sessile. So the polyp will be sessile in nature and cylindrical in case of hydra. But in case of adamsia, it is medusa in shape. So whereas, hydra and adamsia, which is sea anemone, the other name, the scientific name of sea anemone is adamsia, and hydra. So we will be noticing the hydra in case of budding. So Hydra and Adamsia are the polyp. For Medusa, which is umbrella shape, Aurelia or jellyfish. Why we call it as Aurelia means because it is golden color. That's why we call it as Aurelia. These cnidarians will exhibit both alternation of generations, like from polyp to Medusa and Medusa to polyp. We call that change of body forms or alteration in the generations as metagenesis. So for example, if you see the polyp, so this polyp will produce this Medusa asexually, and this both Medusa will unite to form again polyp. So asexually the Medusa is produced, and now this Medusa will unite sexually to form the polyp. So to form the Medusa, asexual reproduction is enough, but to form the polyp, sexual reproduction is needed. Example, the organism which is exhibiting this thing is Obelia. So here they have given some of the examples. Physalia, Portuguese manovar. From very far you can able to recognize it's like a Portuguese ship which is ready to war. And this is actually colonial in nature. What you are actually seeing is the entire very big colony. Adamsia, we otherwise call it a sea anemone. Pennatula, sea pen. Gorgonia, sea fan. Meandrina, brain coral. And coming to the next one, ctenophora. Previously, ctenophoras are also included under cnidaria, assuming they are also the jellyfish. Ctenophora, they are commonly called as sea walnuts and comb jellies because they look like that. They are exclusively marine. You can able to see the cnidarians are not exclusively marine, mostly marine, because Hydra is a freshwater species. But here the ctenophora is exclusively marine, and you can able to see the radial symmetry as well. And they are the diploblastic because they have ectoderm as well as endoderm and tissue level of organization. Only the two phylums which exhibit tissue level of organization is cnidaria and ctenophora. And the body bears 8 rows of ciliated comb plates. You can able to count in from this picture 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 comb plates. So that is ciliated in nature. Digestion is both extracellular as well as intracellular. There is no much difference between cnidaria and ctenophora, but the special character it will be exhibiting is the bioluminescence. Property of the living tissue emitting the light. It is very well marked in ctenophores. You can able to see in the cnidarians also, but not well marked. Sexes are not separate. They are actually hermaphrodites. In case of poriferans also they are hermaphrodites. Reproduction will take place by sexual means. Fertilization is actually external. In case of porifera it is internal. In case of cnidaria and ctenophora it is external. And development is indirect. You will be having the larval stages. Porifera, cnidaria, ctenophora. All the three are exhibiting the larval stages. Here are the two examples they have given. Pleurobrachia and ctenoplana. So why we call it as pleuro means it looks like very thin. So that is the meaning of pleura, which means thin layer, and ctenoplana. So these are the two phylums regarding some of the detailed specifications from NCERT. So thank you.